All right, you guys, it's heating up out there. Things are getting weirder than ever. We're definitely entering Cliff High's hyper novelty time, and I'll be right back with my buddy Satoshi Sean right after this. Hey there, how are you doing? You are actually muted this
Okay, I'm just messing.
thing
You're actually
on in.
breaking up there. Okay,
Oh, you're
I'm
kidding.
doing all
Okay,
right.
hold on. Well, doing all right. All right, we're gonna do our best today.
Yeah, you didn't play the intro for the show.
Oh, I did the wrong intro.
You know, you caught me off guard. I didn't think it was starting, but yeah, it's okay.
Now it's officially
Now we're not
New
gonna
Truth Tuesday.
we're not gonna freeze and get muted and yeah.
Okay, now we've had the magical good vibe start. Okay. Um yeah, I've been pointing at a lot of this stuff. A lot of it's been lining up for me about all the um missing children, but definitely even more pointing to the missing indigenous women and children. Um and I saw a thing, I believe it was on Jack Straw, um and that I started noticing that, like, the last couple of Trump's rallies were at, like, Sioux City or Native American or Indian name places, and then Jack Straw said if you look at the name, if you go down just the first letter of every city, it spells out, like, the name for, um, the national whatever of missing indigenous women, infant women and children or something like that. Um, and so I think Trump is really pointing at the missing uh, women, Native American or indigenous, and maybe indigenous all over the world, not
But
just
yeah,
American.
it's one of those things that everyone just has their head buried in the sand. You know,
Well, part of it is that they
the
go
numbers are so
unreported.
high. Even but what is reported? It's like millions.
Millions.
When you hear that, you're like, oh
How do
wow,
millions of people go
where do they go? Yeah,
unreported?
but where are they? I mean, it's not like
Well,
it's so much that like the southern
where
border.
are they? The
There's so many people
diamonds.
coming across the southern border that it's obvious to everyone. Even
So
people on the other side of the aisle are like, yeah, it's pretty bad. And it's like that number of times, whatever, go missing all the time, especially other around the world.
So the horrors of one of the biggest horrors of World War II was that they supposedly cooked people in the ovens. And, for Christmas this year at the White House, the decor was the gingerbread house. And we know the story of Hansel and Gretel, and the witch in the woods had a gingerbread house to attract the children so that she could put them in her oven and cook them and eat them. And we know about all the spirit cooking.
It's weird.
And all that. It is weird, but they're trying to tell you what's been going on. And then they've been talking about the diamonds, and we're going to get the diamonds back. And I even have my Woo Woo Warrior Bugs Bunny comic book, and it's Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, like, or something. I can't remember the exact story, but I've got it around here somewhere. And the bad guys are stealing the Native Indians or whatever, or the Indians, and they're stealing their diamonds in this comic book that's years from like the 50s or 60s or something. I'll get it and read it on my Patreon and share it.
1984. What's the difference between Hawaii for us and Taiwan for China.
Are the Hawaiian children missing indigenous? I'm
Because
sure.
we really we did some bad stuff for Hawaii, and now they're a state. We made the mistake, but they were a country. Um, so I don't know. Just kind of hit me. What's the difference? We kind of forced them.
Sean, but you're falling into the narrative of we. That's the elites doing those things. It's not we as American
We're
people
Americans, and
doing those things.
we didn't do anything to stop it.
The big powers, the elite power did that uh, with the uh, what is it called? The military industrial complex. That's not we the people.
We the people
So
are
they
supposed to be
want
the
you to
ones that
be
have the
ashamed of
power.
America. We are not ashamed of America.
I'm not
We are not
ashamed,
ashamed
but
of we the people.
you have to admit that we're part of it.
I'm
We allow it to
ashamed
go on.
of the military industrial
I'm
complex.
ashamed
I'm not
of
ashamed
the
of it.
government.
We are gonna hold the military industrial complex
And
accountable.
then
There, but
that's my
that's
point. Let's
controlled
do
by
it.
the elites. That's not we the people. It's not we the people.
But
That's
if we the
different
people
things.
don't do anything, if good men do nothing,
All right,
you
and that's
know, right?
what good men are doing something. That's what's going on right now. That's why Trump is pointing at this. That's why people are talking about it. That's what we're trying to do is there. And that was another thing that somebody pointed out. They said, some anons are good at decoding stuff. Some anons are good at shit posting. Some anons are good at putting the puzzles together, seeing things. Some anons are good at, I don't know, doing 4chan things or whatever. But everybody's supposed to do their part, and that's where we are doing our part to get this word out, get through this, because it is an information war.
Yeah.
And when we're seeing this Epstein stuff come out, we're trying to educate the public, um, getting people to open their eyes so that this will stop. So this is about the children, and it is about those that can't protect themselves, and it's about stopping this and everyone doing their part. And so um, there's a couple more things today, and I've been kind of processing it still. There's Trump's doing this. There's this court case right now, and the court case is trying to see if Trump had immunity or not as a president. Well, when I start thinking about it, then he did this speech right after, and he's like, "Well, if I don't have immunity, then Biden doesn't have
Yeah,
immunity. All these
he's been doing
things that
that for everything
he's doing
all
right
along.
now."
Just like when the Republicans took um, control and they started kicking Democrats off of committees, and everyone's like, "Hey, what are you doing? This is not what." And they're like, "No, you guys did this. Back when you had control, a couple of years ago, we said don't do this. This is not how things are supposed to work. And now you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it from us. It's tit for tat. It's childish, but it has to be done. And every step of the way, Trump's like, "Hey, you're gonna do this to me? Well, then it's good for everybody. Hey, you're gonna do this to me? Well, that means none of these other people, they can all get in trouble. They can have it, but it doesn't. I mean, when those people stormed the Capitol for the pro-Palestine stuff, broke in, took over, nothing.
But that's
Meanwhile,
what they're showing. They're exposing that
mhm.
that's what's broken and that's what's wrong, is that we don't have the proper accountability and enforcement in place. We might have all these laws,
Jim
but we
brought something
don't
up:
have the proper enforcement and accountability.
accountability, right? And that's because we've lost the everything. Everything was set up so simple.
Accountability.
The first thing
We're
to go
too big
was
for accountability.
the media. The news and report. That was
Mhm.
like the guardians of the truth, and we
Right, I
allowed
agree.
it to get crony capitalism
Mhm.
taken over and sold out. And that was the begin. That was it. Those were the people that protected the truth. Um, and now we don't know what a woman is, what a man is, what nothing. There is no truth anymore because the guardians of the truth are actors. Um, Jim brought up something that we want to talk about because just know it's weird. I haven't really looked into it that much, but the tunnels
Well,
in
hold
Crown.
on just a minute. We'll get there. I want to stay on, and this is all about that. We're going to talk about the kids, but I want to stay on how Trump is pointing to this. Like I said, in his speeches, in his rallies, he's been pointing. Now he's talking about the national whatever of Native American or indigenous missing women and children. You guys can look at that. And then today, he says in his speech. He doesn't misspeak. It's very purposeful. Where am I? I'm lost back here in my tabs. So we'll get to that. I have that video as well. And to be honest, on that video where they're arresting the Hasidic uh, Jews, that happened a few years ago. I know they're just showing it yesterday and last night. I shared it on Telegram and all that, and everybody's kind of seeing it today. But like that happened years ago, and I saw the videos years ago. So I don't know if just now it's time to show everybody again, but I'll play along with everybody. We can play along.
To be president. So take on the fake Biden indictments. They're all
Biden and diamonds. Did you hear it?
He's also the most corrupt president. At least I'm entitled to is presidential immunity, just like any other president would get. I'd be the only one that they would even consider not giving me immunity.
Right about
Because
45.
for whatever reason, people are angry that I've done such a good job, and I've replaced people that were corrupt, that were supposed to be president. So take on the fake Biden indictments. They're all Biden indictments.
Right at 3:45, he says Biden and diamonds. You guys were going to hear about them, what they did to the children, where they went when they went missing. And then, yes, they're going to let you know more about the elites and who the elites are and the religious cults. And I mean, they are starting to let you know. Let's see here was the video that they released again yesterday, that there were riots in New York City. Let's see, share this tab instead. Are you guys seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
You can see that, Sean? Okay.
Now something's going up, yeah.
Okay. Were you seeing Trump before?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the one we were. Supposedly in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, they tore down wooden panels to prevent a cement truck from sealing off recently discovered tunnels. Police intervened by ripping wood panels to thwart the cement truck actions. Underground tunnels, secret built by groups, including.
Froze up. Did I freeze up too? I don't know.
They arrested at least 10 individuals. There's video of this guy climbing out of one of them in Brooklyn. And then they're arresting a bunch of them here. This is all like that perp walk looks really familiar to me from when. Do you remember when they were talking about how they eat their enemies' children and all that a couple years ago, and all those priests got arrested? You don't remember that?
No.
And they were joking around about how, yeah, they send the children to the meat factories and all that, and then the human meat got found in Oklahoma City meat factory and all this. This was a few years ago.
Sounds a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
But there's always,
People are going to freak out.
human meat found in places. Yeah, what's someone in chat was saying that the kids go to McDonald's. Don't eat at McDonald's. I don't know. I'm trying to watch that phone. Like if the phone's an iPhone 14 or something, then it was
Oh, good idea.
like recorded now.
Mm-hmm.
Just look around for little hints and clues.
Good idea.
But what
Good thinking.
are they saying that the tunnels are for? Why is everyone so emotional about the tunnels? What, like if it's their building and they own it, why can't they dig down? Like it seems like a basement. Like if you want to do a basement, upgrade or something. So what's so illegal? What were they doing, and why is everyone so emotional about it? About them taking it away? It's like all the basic questions. What were they using it for? Number one.
Mm-hmm.
They said it was COVID. Neighbors reported them stained mattresses there too.
One thing that was it. Oh, that's so loud. One of the things that, where is it? That this is another thing that, this is a really old interview that a lot of people have seen, but they don't remember. Oh God. That this is the one investigations into the McDonald case. He received confessions from Helena, whatever, stating that Jeffrey McDonald did not do was in her satanic cult, committed these murders, blah, 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 about the Oklahoma City bombing. Okay, so this goes into one of the greatest cover-ups. I'll just play it for you guys, but it talks about using terrorism as an excuse to take away our constitutional rights and civil liberties, murdering thousands of innocent Americans. Oh, you guys aren't seeing this. Sorry. Talking about, did I just get kicked off? No, you can still see me. Okay. Here's where he goes through the investigation of the Franklin case. It led him to a Washington, D.C. organization called The Finders, which is a CIA covert op for kidnapping children and trafficking them internationally around the world. The children are used for body parts, satanic ceremonies, human sacrifices, sex slaves. In 1997, he received a tip from an airline employee that 210 children flew out of Denver to New York and then to Paris. The airline employee asked the female adult and two male adults who the children were with. Who are these kids? Child Protective Services is what she was told. Mind your own business. And the employee disappeared. Some of these children are auctioned off and sold for up to $50,000 each. Their ages are between 2 and 21 years old. It's all reported to United States Customs and on record with them, but nothing's being done about it. It's all being covered up.
I've been thinking about the Denver airport all week. And the weird, that's like in your face, weird satanic stuff and just weird stuff. I mean, there's a literal giant statue of the nightmare evil horse. I mean, just so much
at the Denver airport.
Yeah,
and then they cover it up by calling their local team the Denver Broncos, so that you would never guess that. You never.
Yeah, but they light it in red, and it's just there's then the weird, just strange art, the stuff that's all underground. the sear. There's so just look up Denver Airport and
It's creepy. I'll put this in the
that is a
Telegram
great word.
group
Very creepy.
because it is a 20-minute long video. In fact, I know I've put it in there before, but I'll put it in there
Yeah,
again.
it killed the artist. The horse killed the artist. I forgot about that.
Oh, in fact, it's there. It's already there. I can just pin it. I'll pin it so you guys can find it easier. I won't repost it. There's a lot going on right now. And Sean, I've been finding stuff about the money, and you and I thought it was interesting when I was sharing that one article and you were like, wait a minute, they gave the Native Americans power plants and dams and waterways and whatever. Well, then I was watching this Tuttle Twins episode with Cannon while we were home for Christmas. We're doing some homeschooling and stuff, and we watched these Tuttle Twin episodes. And one was called the Bitcoin and the Beast, and they were talking about hard money and how hard money was made. And originally, when our nation was founded, one of the first forms of money was wampum, which was from the Native Americans. And wampum was not just puka seashells. It was shells, but they were a certain kind of shell and they were rare and they had to be taken out of the water. And then they had to be like, you know,
You're breaking up. Are you still there? Well, I've seen some stuff on Denver, but yeah, it's really weird, Warrior.
Okay, I think I'm back.
You're
I'm
back.
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you were real close.
I know it shouldn't be doing this. I'm sorry, you guys. So our new treasurer, when Trump was in, when he put the Fed under the Treasury, we got a new Secretary of Treasurer, and she's Native American as well. And so if we go back to hard money, not debt-based money, or am I saying that right? Credit-based money, debt-based money, not bad Fed notes, money, Treasury. They really don't want me to say this.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay.
When you were using your phone as it was good. Whenever you use your phone, and your
If I use my phone,
yeah, it's always.
I'll use my phone for the second half over on your channel. I just really want to get this information out, but I guess it's not
much harder
time
to share. That's right.
to
It's
do
harder to
this.
share on the phone. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I can't do it on my channel on the phone.
Well, I think you're back.
I probably should not have been. Yeah, they don't want you talking about the kids. They don't want you talking about the Indian stuff, but it's just like I haven't, that's what keeps me.
You're frozen. But yeah, I've been noticing the past 2 weeks, been very not obsessed, but it's been eating at you. You know what I mean? I think you've been kind of down about it, and I'm just the same way. I get really,
Sure.
The world gets to you, when you when you see stuff, and especially when you're kind of alone. We have like our community and each other, but family and friends are just oblivious to everything. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. I'm ready for it to come out so that those people that are so with their head in the sand, you know what? If it's time for them to get kicked in the ass about it, then kick them in the ass about it.
Yeah.
And at this point, the information's been out there. They need to wake up. And because if that's what it takes for children to stop being hurt, then then it's their turn to get hurt, and they need to wake the hell up.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't think
I'm done.
you weren't on World Blockchain Roundtable this week.
I know, I'm sorry.
I don't know if it was this week or a different week, but talking about in people's faces, like it wasn't last time, it was time before Ted went to Vietnam. They had went to Thailand, which is, kind of sleazy place. And they didn't go to the big city. They went to like the second city, which is worse because it's not as touristy. But he was walking around with everyone, and there was this like old 60-some-year-old dude with like missing teeth, just open mouth, hardcore, kissing like some 12-year-old. And Ted's probably twice as tall as everyone there because he's an Asian.
Mhm.
But he was just like talking. It's like, see, in Texas, if this guy here, we could kill him. We could kill you if you were in Texas. Anything with a kid, and we're all armed, just pull your gun away, shoot this guy in the head. We'd shoot you in the head right there. Just right there on the street, calling
Yeah.
out the dude, putting it in everyone's face.
Yeah, and not being distracted with this kind mall alien stuff and whatever, like, um, and the, whatever other FFs they're coming out with that, I can't tell if it's real or not. I'm not there, but um, I don't know. There's just a lot
It's
going on.
something weird because when I was in the hospital, the government came out and said there's aliens. We've dealt with the aliens. It's like, and I was shocked. No one cares. It was like the Area 51 thing.
I remember, yeah.
But now I'm seeing stuff talking about there might be an aliens, there might be the existence, and it's all like back to where it was a year or two ago.
Mhm.
And I comment on it because these are like news sources. Like, what is the point of this article? The government said there are aliens and they've admitted to it. Why are you saying that there might be, or that the government knows something? It's like, are you trying to reset this? Are you trying to act like that didn't happen? What's going on?
Well, the fluoride is strong, Sean. I mean, people's memory is terrible. I mean, and part of that is the video learning. They say that like we have less memory than like a goldfish at this point. And some of that is the video learning, the paying attention, all of that. I mean,
Maybe
it's
it's an op to see if you can literally like do something and have people witness it, and then just say, "Oh, it didn't happen." Like
Jedi mind
4 or
trick.
5 months later, and then
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, did it happen?" Oh, I don't. What's
Yeah.
the Mandela effect? You can say it was the Mandela effect. Hey, you think it happened, but it really never happened. You know, uh, Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I understand because there's tons of articles now, and I'm sure it's like my feed because I like sci-fi and aliens and
Well,
stuff.
think about that. So the church has always been knowledge is how they've controlled people. And to the point, and then they realized that the ultimate way of controlling people, even to the point of not trusting themselves, you know what, even your morality, you had to ask the church if, am I doing the right thing? What are the things that are good? Oh, well, you can't kill your parents. That's really bad. You know,
Mhm.
or you have to obey your parents. That's the ultimate, respect your parents. Don't kill someone. What's moral? What's good and
You're frozen, but we know
bad?
what's moral. It's like instinctual. Like we instinctually don't want to kill each other. That's why I don't know. The militaries have to be. Well, they're not ruined for everyone else, but for us, there has to be an element of racism or degradation of the enemy because we don't want to kill each other. So, like it was, whether it's races, the Native Americans, anything through history, the powers or the leaders say these people aren't like us. They're less than us. They're savages. They're like monkeys but better, but they're not like us. And that's the only way we're able to kill them because we don't want to kill each other. If we thought that they were on equal ground, there's no way we would do it. Same with you can look at any wars in the United States, Vietnam back, or even recent. They don't talk about it as much, but there's massive racism that they're taught, and it's encouraged because you degrade the person as a human, so they're not like you, and they're easier to, number one, they're easier to kill, but number two, if civilians get in the way, it's not as big of a deal because they're not the same as us, and that way of thinking is the only way that people have been able to do the atrocities that they've done. Um, and if now we're taking that out of the military, I don't know how we're going to be able to just to do the horrific things that we've done before. Are you still frozen? Either frozen or you're just tired of me with that face. Everyone sees the face. It looks like, but no, she is frozen. Whoa. Did you get some double mint gum?
Man, it's so frustrating. It kicked me out when I tried to start. So I just started trying to type in the chat to be able to talk. So it kicked me out completely. So what I was going to say is the new like tree of knowledge or power, or the way to control us is, so the way for us to get knowledge is now the internet. So they want us to stop using that, or they want to control that narrative. So they Google feed everybody, well, you have to have the link, and then they control the information that's on the Google, or what gets posted, and they shut down, cancel, shadow ban anybody with free thought or that's not in the narrative. And like you said, with the media and the Mockingbird media and all of that, so that it's the same thing. It's all about controlling humanity. And knowledge is the thing that and if you even simplify it to what we did know about slavery, they didn't want slaves to know how to read because, well, they might get smart and, want to free themselves. Well,
same with women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same. Every form of slavery, the known form of slavery, we are slaves. We just don't know it. Some of us know it, some of us don't.
Yeah.
And so that is what the elites are withholding from us, is knowledge, and they're doing it through censorship and through all of this, and through the information and this ban. I
Well, you froze. I don't know if you can hear me, but that's something that Tucker Carlson was saying before he got kicked off and everything, is just the basic stuff. He said that he started calling people slaves and started calling like the laws and things that were coming out. It was turning people into slaves. He said the basic definition is if someone can do something to you and you're not allowed to defend yourself, you are a slave to that person or to that entity. And so many of the laws were like, hey, we can do this, we can do that. You can't say anything, you can't do anything, you can't talk about it, or we're going to censor you. He said that's the literal definition of being a slave. I mean, that's not the whole financial slave thing where you work and they take away as much money as they want first and let you have the rest. You work for 7 till you're 70, and then you hopefully can eke out 5-10 years of relaxation after all of that work. If you don't die soon. My friend died this week. It pretty sucks. He used to be one of my best friends. Till a girl came between them, but that was only a short thing because I nipped it in the butt, I guess. But I was still mad at him for a while. But anyway, I hadn't talked to him in a long time. Probably, I don't know. Talk on social media every now and then, but haven't hung out with him for like 2-3 years. We played poker, I think was the last time. But he died, and I'm sad. My friend told me, and I was like, oh man. And then my friend said, yeah, man, we're at that age where we're gonna start dying. It's like that's not comforting at all. Like, yeah, we're getting older. A lot of us are gonna start kicking the bucket, man. Uh, thank you very much. Uh, I appreciate it, y'all. You know, that's what me and my friend were talking about because you know, in the hospital, two different hospitals, I had two doctors and like six nurses telling me that my heart stuff was because of the vax. Um, which I thought it was weird that they were like, just would tell me that. Um, but that's what me and my friend were talking about. We wonder if it is, if it's connected to it or not. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Slavery methods, tactics, etc. involved now is covert slavery. Yeah, it's weird. Instead of being overt and like physical, where it's forced, it's literally covert, and people are still slaves, but they're like part of it. Like they think we think we have so many freedoms, we really don't. That's like giving your kid a choice between, you want to do your homework or do you want to do your chores. It's like, well, I want to watch TV and eat ice cream. Okay, well, you got to choose one of these two. But you can choose whatever you want as long as it's these two things. Um, and that is kind of how slavery is now, where people. It's still like I retired, got out of the rat race thing 5 years ago, and even when I was a young fellow, I worked for I worked like manual labor stuff for a little bit, and then I worked for Domino's, and I used to work like 70 hours, sometimes 80 hours a week. I was assistant manager when I was like 19, but I used to work. It was hard. I mean, I used to bust my butt, and friends of mine that were in worked fast food or other jobs. It was just brutal, brutal work that I used to do, and I remember when I became a financial advisor, it was like it wasn't work. You know what I mean? I'm like I talk to people and hang out, I drink booze in the office all day. It was just it was not work. It was chilling. And I remember being like 25 and going to McDonald's or somewhere and just watching everyone. And the manager's like, "You're going too slow. Hurry up, hurry up." And I was like, wow. I was like, how did I do? I couldn't do it now. I remember being 25 years old and thinking, there's no way I could last 2 hours in this place now. From what I went to working my butt off since I was like 16 or even younger. I used to like caddy and I try to do jobs before I was of age too. Um, but people do that. They like just will hustle, break their back, and work their ass off, and be happy with like a 10-cent raise, and think they're winning when they're still they're still working, having their money taken out of their check before they get it. Uh, Being happy with what they get, or not happy with what they get, but just dealing with it. Um, and then shooting for that goal of a week off a year, 2 weeks off a year, just that little bit of control that they think they have, where you get some time off or paid time off, or not paid but you can take it off. It's all giving you that illusion that you're in total control, but you're not. Because if you wanted to just not work, you couldn't eat. We're already get to the point where an entire generation just accepts that they can't afford to own a house. It's like basic shit that you could, I can work and own a home, and people are like, oh, that's not going to happen for me, and that you have to see that that's engineered for you to not be able to afford shelter an entire generation, and then see that a small group of corporations are making it so it's going to be a permanent thing. They're taking all of it off the market, buying every house that there is, buying every dwelling that there is, so that you can't ever buy one. I don't know. It's weird. It is weird. Like, Lisa is not here, so we're actually late for starting on my channel. And oh yeah, she doesn't know what's going on though. She said just send her the new link. But I can't end the show, which is what she doesn't understand. Let me tell her that real quick. Because this will just keep going. If I leave, it'll just be a blank screen, and it'll keep going. Yeah, Warrior, that's true. I can't click to show it, but you have to take a day off just to feel like you have some kind of control. It is. I understand that completely. Hey, Gazoo. And I can't now imagine working your ass off. When I was working for Xbox, I used to work 12-hour days. I used to work like 10. I used to work 10-hour days, and I'd work 4, so I got an extra day off. But if it was I could only work 2 days, and then I had a day off, so it felt like so much easier. Like no matter what, I was only a day away from being off. If I was working 10-hour days, it's still, you're technically working for 11, going in, setting stuff up, getting, all your computer set up and all. 11 or 12 hours a day sitting there, glued to your screen, dealing with crap just to, have that one day and then the 2 days off. I'm glad that I don't do it anymore. But I don't understand how I did it, and I hope I never have to go back to it. Thank God for crypto. I hope this. I think this is the last. This is the last run that we're gonna have. That's gonna be similar to ones before it. Oh, there you are.
Okay.
Lisa, you have to end the stream. I can't end it.
Oh, okay. Well, I could not get on at all.
Okay. Yeah, well, we can end it so we can go over to my channel.
Okay, let's go.
It would just keep streaming on your channel if you didn't come in and end it. Love you all. See you over on my channel.
Bye.
Like and subscribe. Bye.
Do all the things.